I've wandered far, but I hear something. Do you guys hear that? It sounds like trimmer engines. Maybe it's just me. Wait. I've come to the right place.
What's going on, guys? It's John here for you. Stihl FS90R. Technically this is the KM94R, but we're treating it as an FS because I only have a trimmer attachment for it at this moment, and it's essentially the same trimmer. So we got this guy, the FS94R. Next to it we've got a Husqvarna 326 LS, I believe is what it is. Yep. So I've had this thing for a while. This is my third season with it. It's been a really good workhorse for me, so we're comparing that. To kind of make things interesting, we're going to throw in this Toro trimmer from Home Depot special, 120 bucks, you know, just to kind of see what commercial trimmers are like against a homeowner unit. And then last but definitely not least, over here we've got the FS90R. This is, Stihl has discontinued this line. I believe the new one is the FS100.
That's a 91.
Or is it 91?
They still have the 100RX.
Okay, so what Stihl has done is they've taken their numbers and kind of added a digit. So now it's 91 instead of 90. But it's very similar to what this trimmer is, so we'll be comparing that. This is actually a 4-mix trimmer, meaning it has all the little valves and whatnot up here in the cylinder head, even though it does run regular 2-stroke gas. So we'll be comparing these. Some first impressions, obviously, is that starting over here with the 94, this is a very balanced trimmer. The engine weighs little to nothing, very lightweight unit, it's super easy to start, it's a good unit. But the 326, it's similar weight to the 94, but this has a little more weight on the motor. This, I believe, has just a little bit more power than the 94. It's a balanced trimmer, I know how to throw it around really well. Keeping on the theme of commercial, the 90 over here, the 90, many guys have run these things, they're tried and true, really reliable, awesome trimmers. There is more weight in the back, and overall weight of the trimmer is more because of the extra parts in the engine. It's still very balanced though. You can run this thing for hours. It's not, you know, awkwardly this way or awkwardly that way. And trimmer head wise, the 94 and the 90 are identical. So that's the same there. Throttle is not too heavy, it seems pretty good. Overall controls seem decent, very well built unit. And so that's the 3 commercials, and they're all pretty even as far as quality goes. Now to compare, those of you guys just starting out, we've got this Toro unit here. Now, both Joe and I had Toro trimmers to start out with. He actually sold this to me, but he had this straight shaft, and I actually had a curved shaft that I started out with, but the power head was identical, it was the same trimmer. And these do have the split shafts, so they're a combi unit, kinda, but not really. It's a conventional 2-stroke trimmer, but it's heavier than those 2 commercial units, even though it's not built as well. The metal, you know, it's not, these have aluminum shafts, the 2 commercial units here, these are aluminum shaft. These, Toro is just a steel shaft. The trimmer head's not as robust. The engine has a lot more, you know, the plastic just feels cheaper around this thing. Throttle, I've run, my other one that I have, like I said, the throttle is identical. When you're running this thing, it fatigues your hand because the throttle is actually quite hard to push and hold constant. They're a decent unit if you're just starting out, you know, don't be afraid to get one of these things at all. I mean, I've run mine into the ground, and I've tried to kill Joe's, and his hasn't even died yet. They're decent units, but you get what you pay for, really. So that's that. So those are our first impressions, and now we'll get back to you guys in a little bit after you see us do some trimming.
Alright guys, what's going on? Joe here. So we've decided that the only fair way to test all the true capabilities of these trimmers is to do an equal test.
Absolutely.
So John has lucked out here, and he has this great land in the back of his house that we can do an equal test with. So the trimmers are going to be tested on 3 different categories. First one, mowing down brush. So we have this honeysuckle. So each trimmer is going to go down 1 to 2 feet of length and try mowing down this honeysuckle, and we're going to see the cut quality on that. We're also going to test them going between these posts here. See how quickly, easily they can move around posts and trim between obstacles. And also we're going to go down the center here and see how well they can mow. Now, John, what kind of fuel do we have running in these?
Alright, so I only use pre-mixed True Fuel, which is the stuff you buy in the can, you know. It's no ethanol, and it's 92 octane, so it's good fuel. All 4 trimmers have the same fuel in it. Now, string, all 4 of them have this stuff, which I have in bulk because I use a good amount of it. It's 0.095 string, so that's all 4 the same thickness. So all the variables for all 4 of these trimmers are the same. Only things that are going to change are power, obviously.
We want to make sure this is the fairest test as possible so you guys can really see the true capabilities of these trimmers. We are going to have all 4 trimmers run. So again, in case you guys missed it the first time, we have the Stihl FS90R, the Husqvarna 326 LS, the Toro Home Depot Special, and the Stihl FS90. John, what do you think we should start with?
I think we should start with the 90.
Let's be friends. You want me, it's best for you, not them. Don't I don't wanna lose sleep, thinking about everything we could be. Let's just see what comes to. We're all made in Hollywood, fake loving and hating on silver screens, believing everything we come to see. Go outside, it feels so good. We're loving and hating and making scenes. Now we just see everything we believe. We just see everything. Just see everything. Fake loving and hating on silver screens, believing everything we come to see. Go outside, it feels so good. We're loving and hating and making scenes. Now we just see everything we believe.
what's going on? Joe here. We just finished the practical test of these 4 trimmers. We put it through their paces, trimming some honeysuckle, going around posts, and then mowing the grass back and forth. So initial thoughts on these trimmers, and you guys may know from the test that John was the main operator. We did that to ensure credibility and make sure that there wasn't missed variables, so just having one operator did that. However, I did run all 4 of these trimmers off screen so I can give you my honest thoughts. So we're going to talk about power. So let's start with the FS, or KM94. FS is what we're calling it. Power on this trimmer. I would say for somebody who has a medium size, or you're just starting out in business and you want to go for a good trimmer, this is a great trimmer to have. Overall, I'd say power is for what you're using it for, it's 10 out of 10. If you're expecting it to be a bush hogging trimmer, you're going to be severely disappointed. This is a good everyday around the yard trimmer. If you guys are just using it for mowing yards, this is what you want. Alright, the Husqvarna 326 LS. Now, admittedly, before today, I have never run any Husqvarna trimmers. Blowers, yes. Trimmers, no. So, the 326 for me, just giving my honest opinion about it, reminds me of the FS90R. It really reminds me of it because it's similar in weight, but the power is just about the same. But I'm saying when you're around here and you're trying to delicately go around obstacles, it's a nice amount of power to have. Weight is very similar, but on the power ratio, these 2 trimmers compare equally in terms of you should have these guys on your trailer if you're mowing yards every day.
And just to kind of interject a little bit, guys, since I was one that did most of the running, the 94 has not really been fully broken in yet. I did run it a bit before we did the test just to kind of make sure we were good, but that could have affected a little bit. But I did feel that the 326 had more oomph going through the brush than the 94 did. Now when this breaks in, we'll have to do it again and see what it's actually like, but they're very competitive. Joe is correct in saying that.
Alright guys, now we're going to talk about the Toro Home Depot Special. Now, that's just our name for it. It really is just a Toro straight shaft trimmer. Now, I get it. You guys are starting out, you're on a budget, you're like, man, why do I need such an expensive trimmer? Well, it ain't a bad trimmer. Really, it's really not. However, there's noticeable differences between something like this, stuffs like the 94 and the 326, and a huge difference with the 90. Power on this is very small. It does not have a lot of power. Also, flipping the throttle like that, it doesn't like half throttle as much as these guys do. The 90 hates half throttle. It will die if you keep doing it at half throttle. The power on this is very minimal. It's a good starting trimmer, but I would not plan to run your business long term with this trimmer. We have the FS90R. Now this is my personal trimmer I own. John owns the FS94, but this is the trimmer I own. This is the first new trimmer I bought myself. I bought that myself, but really this is a major upgrade. Is that it's not that much heavier than the 94 and 326, but the power is just unmatched. So this thing blows the 94 and the 326 out of the water purely based on power. Other things like trimming around obstacles, it gets into a little bit of a gray area. Because with something like this, when you're trimming around obstacles and stuff like that, the head just wants to go. It just wants to go. And so if you try to do like half throttle, it's gonna die. This is a full throttle machine. You either go full throttle or you don't go at all. My honest opinion on that. Like I said, it is a tad bit heavier than the 94 and the 326, but this is a good trimmer to have if you're doing ditches, if you're doing brush work. I don't know what you thought, John, but I thought that the 90 did a better job on the brush than the 94 did.
I completely agree.
Just because it's a more powerful trimmer. So it's hard to compare these two just because they're meant for different uses. But if you guys are expecting to buy the 90 and expect it to be a trimmer to use in customers' yards and expect it to be delicate, it's not that trimmer. The 94 is that delicate use trimmer.
So, if I had to pick one trimmer out of these 4, I would probably go with the 94. Either the 94 or the 326. That thing has been battle worn and it's gone really well for me. But if I had to pick one from here, knowing my circumstances, I'd go with the 94. Joe, which one would you pick? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, it's tough. I can tell you this, I would not pick the Toro.
That's a smart decision.
I would not pick the Toro. I enjoyed running the 326. It was nice to try a different brand, and I'm kind of sad that we weren't able to get an Echo out here because it would have been nice to have that comparison. But we don't have all the money, so this is what we have. But if I was going to go out and start a lawn business tomorrow, probably the 94. I love my 90. I love my 90 all the same. But after running this 94 for 10-15 minutes now, I can see why guys like it to have when trimming around obstacles in the yard. It's so much lighter than my 92. Longest day I ran my 90, I ran it for about 8 hours just doing ditches. And it ran through those ditches like nothing. But man, that thing gets heavy. I don't see this happening with the 94. So that's our recommendation. If you're going to go out and start a lawn business tomorrow, you should take a serious look at the FS94.
Now guys, be sure to stay tuned for the next video because we start playing around with these things.
Does that mean we get to race?
Yes, let's go do drag racing.
Yes!